let's talk about the Mark Drager brand. So you have an agency, but you also now you have a podcast, the We Do Hard Things podcast. You have a podcast that you co-host with Evan Carmichael, and you also have a YouTube channel. And so how and when did you start leveraging content marketing or content in order to build your own personal brand presence? And why did you go into that world? Was it to do business development for your agency? Was it to establish expert credibility?
That would be smart.
That's what I did. But I mean, was it to establish some sort of expert credibility as an independent? What was your thinking around it?
Yeah, so we built our agency 100% on SEO and PPC. We became $1 million agency based on Google advertising and SEO.
All right.
And then in May of 2012, there was an update to Google, and we lost all of our rankings. At one point we were generating like 10 leads a day. So we could be pretty picky and choosy with the work we got, and we could charge a lot of money. And then it all disappeared. And that was when I realized, what is the new world? This is 2012, 10 years ago, content marketing, right? Putting up blog posts, putting out content, recording stuff, doing video, being a leader. And so that was kind of my first move into it. And it was through the Phanta brand. So through Phanta Media, all of our work was focused on that. And at a certain point, our first podcast, the Not So Corporate podcast, was focused specifically to help people in corporate video or in video production companies get better. And all of our content up until about 17 was focused on that. And it made sense because I was dedicated 100% to building Phanta Media as an agency. I'd been there for a long time. It was my thing. It was my identity. It was my legacy. It was the thing I was building. What I realized, though, was that anything that we do or own is simply an asset. And rather than be the type of small business owner or entrepreneur where this business is my identity and it is everything that I do, I started to shift more into, well, perhaps this is better run as an asset. Perhaps this is better run as something that I love and we can help with. But by making it not quite so personal to me, it actually allowed me to make I thought at the time, more strategic business decisions, hire up people differently and what have you. And the other thing I realized is, as we were struggling to generalize as an agency, like I mentioned, month after month, quarter after quarter, year after year, there was a lot of stuff we weren't doing well. And it just, I just wanted something that was for me. When you spend all day, every day building other people's stuff, at a certain point, I've written for so many other people in their voices. What's my voice?
Yeah.
I have produced so many other brands. What would I be allowed to do if it was just for me? And so that's really ultimately, it was a playground. And then the playground was kind of a hobby, and then the hobby became a bit more serious. And then I started getting feedback from people saying like, hey, this is pretty good. And so I thought, well, what if I spent more than 5% of my time on it? And so ultimately that was the journey. It was very, very slow, and I wish it was more strategic like you did it, but it was more just because I wanted a place I could play.
Yeah. I mean, I did it just because my client base of 25 years were all Fortune 100 companies, and I wanted to work with the small to medium-sized businesses and entrepreneurs, and I knew that none of my network were going to feed me new business. It just wasn't the same world. So I had to start getting present and visible in a completely different context. And also it was the Renaissance period of content marketing. And I just realized I had a lot to share, a lot to teach. And if I could put it all out there for free and clients could find me rather than the other way around, then it would work. And it happened to work for me. It was a lot of fun. I like putting out content.
I say this line all the time, and I remind myself of it. I think that most people sit on their greatest things waiting for the audience to be there. Like I don't want to give away this magic when there's no one listening. I don't want to give away this great tip. As soon as I have 1,000 subs, or as soon as I have 10,000 followers,
I'll share the real shit.
Then I'll share the real stuff. But then you never, if you don't give people a reason to follow you, they will never follow you. So you have to actually, to your point, speak to the empty room. You have to show up whether people are listening or not. I was hired once to speak at a conference, And I'm like, great, I got paid a lot of money to go speak at a conference. I didn't realize that I'd be delivering 15-minute sessions every hour in a trade show environment. So I thought I was getting a breakout room. I thought they were bringing me people, and I thought I
You
was
were like
speaking
on
to
the
an
floor.
audience. I'm on the floor giving a presentation about the most strategic ways to build out target audience personas as people are walking by.
Looking for snacks.
And it was like, but damn, did it make me better and more comfortable the next
there you
time I
go.
spoke.
Yeah.